Osrc News at 7. Calls for government intervention grow amid severe traffic issues at Ojaba Market. Tragedy in Owo as APC chieftain, 4 others shot dead by unknown gunmen. INEC refutes claims of planned destruction of over 6 million uncollected PVCs. And from the foreign scene, Syrians face daunting task of rebuilding war-torn country after 13 years of conflict. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Osrc News at 7. My name is Oduwayo Sawyer. Persistent traffic gridlock around the Ojaba Market in Akure, Ondo State has been linked to negligence from authorities responsible for managing public spaces. Traders have encroached on walkways and designated taxi routes, particularly during peak evening hours, exacerbating the congestion. Osrc's visit to the market reveals that the situation has deteriorated, with many traders setting up stalls in areas meant for pedestrian and vehicular movement. This encroachment not only disrupts traffic flow, but also poses safety risks for both shoppers and drivers navigating the busy market area. Osrc's Omoriola Ubeji reports.
Severe congestion has plagued the Ojaba market in Akure, raising concerns among local residents. The market's walkways intended for pedestrian use have been overtaken by traders, forcing pedestrians to navigate through cramped spaces and often leaving them stranded. Additionally, designated taxi routes have been converted to makeshift stores for selling various goods, including vegetables and clothing. This encroachment has further exacerbated the traffic situation, making it difficult for vehicles and motorbikes to pass through. Residents and road users are increasingly frustrated with the worsening conditions, describing the situation as unmanageable.
Àwọn ló ń kọ̀ sí i tí àbí láì pé bẹ̀rẹ̀ free sí báyìí wọ́n á rí àwọn tó gbó fẹ́ irú tẹ̀sí tó dúró lọ́kàn sí báyìí ìbẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ gbà kó ti gbèrú ẹ̀wọ̀n tó dúró sí bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí báyìí.
Many have called on authorities to take immediate action to restore order and ensure safe passage for both pedestrians and vehicles.
Traders have encroached further into what the government designated as drop-off points. So I see traders now selling their wares on the road. Then number two, secondly, the drivers also who just park their vehicle briefly to drop passengers, and for some of those who have come to the market looking for a place to park. I know government has a designated area for vehicles to park. So that's what I think. So what I think government can do is to see how they can encourage these people, because people who have money have shops. But for these ones who are on the road, they don't have money to buy shops, to get shops. So if government has a way of encouraging them so that they can give them shops, at the end of the day, it's possible to not drive them away completely from the road.
The way they there is coming from our government. Now, government now cause all this problem, because if they do their own work rightly, perfectly, so people cannot come here from inside of the market to come on the road to come and put the thing that they sell on the road. If our government work well, so I think all this goes slow, it will be solved. All this problem will be solved.
As at the time of filing this report, efforts to get a reaction from government authorities proved abortive. There is a growing hope, however, that the government will investigate the root causes of this congestion and implement effective solutions to alleviate the ongoing problem at Ojaba Market. Omoriola Ubeji, Osrc News.
The Ondo State Independent Electoral Commission, ODEC, is preparing to train qualified ad hoc staff for the upcoming local government elections scheduled for January 18, 2025. This training will commence on January 7, 2025 at the Commission's headquarters in Akure. Successful applicants for positions such as returning officers and electoral officers will undergo training first, followed by ward returning officers on January 8 and presiding officers along with other support staff on January 9. The lists of successful candidates for these roles have been posted at ODEC headquarters and local government areas. As election date approaches, stakeholders are urged to prepare adequately and comply with electoral guidelines to facilitate a successful local government election across the state's 18 local government areas. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has refuted claims that it plans to destroy over 6 million uncollected permanent voter cards. In a statement on its X handle, INEC clarified that it never contemplated such an action, responding to a newspaper report suggesting the destruction of PVCs dating back to the 2015 voter registration. The Commission emphasized that the report was inaccurate and urged the public to disregard it. INEC reassured citizens of its commitment to ensuring all registered voters have access to their cards. The Rivers State High Court has ruled that Governor Simi Nalayi Fubara is legally empowered to transact business with the 3 lawmakers who have not vacated their seats in the State House of Assembly. This was contained in a court decision given on 20th of December 2024, during which presiding judge Sika Aprioko dismissed the suit seeking to compel the governor to represent the 2024 budget to the Martin Amawuli-led assembly. After considering the arguments from the different councils, Aprioko ruled that Governor Fubara could transact business with the members who did not vacate their seat. The court said until the Supreme Court gives its verdict on the issue of jurisdiction, which affects the status of the 27 lawmakers, it is only those who did not vacate their seats that the governor can constitutionally approach to present a budget, appoint chief judges and president. Customary courts also screen commissioners, including the Attorney General, and make board appointments. Agriculture is hitherto a cornerstone of Nigeria's economy, but how can the sector truly fulfill its potential? An expert in agricultural engineering, Professor Femi Ajibola, recently shared his views on why Nigeria must take agriculture more seriously to reap its full benefits. In an exclusive interview with Osrc's Zahid Aribisala, Professor Ajibola highlighted key areas where reforms are needed to boost the sector and ensure that farmers see tangible rewards for their hard work.
Until we decide to take agriculture seriously, and when I say take agriculture seriously, I mean take it really seriously, not by word of mouth. I think it's going to be difficult for us to really break through. Agriculture provides us an opportunity to really get ahead. That's where we started, and that we made it big there. And there are opportunities for us at the moment, but there are some fundamentals that we need to deal with. Those fundamentals mean that those people who are practicing agriculture must benefit from practicing agriculture. Do you understand what I'm saying? The way for them to benefit is either because they are selling high prices of food or that their cost is reduced. You understand? How can you reduce their cost? Make sure that rural roads are there. Make sure that the facilities they require are available to them. You understand? So that they can produce, process, and market at reasonable prices. So that you and I, who are buying from them, will be buying at reasonable prices. And still, they'll be doing well. The day in which a farmer or a processor is the poor person in the community and that we think we will get by is gone. If we do not change our system such that agriculture becomes lucrative, then we still have a long way to go. So we have to all think together and start saying, how do we make it such that those who are into food production, preserving, and marketing are doing well, just like those people who are building roads are doing well. You know, thank you.
In another news, the federal government has announced the postponement of the second term resumption of all federal unity schools, colleges from initial 5th January 2025. A circular from the Ministry of Education announced the new resumption date for the 2024-2025 academic session as Sunday, January 12th, 2025. The circular attributed the postponement to the ongoing renovations in most of the federal unity schools. At this point, we take a short break on OSRC News at 7. Please stay with us. Thank you for rejoining us on the OSRC News at 7. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has paid a condolence visit to the Deji of Akure, Oba Aladetoyinbo Aladelusi, following the death of Secretary to the State Government, Temitayo Oluwatuyi. Accompanied by members of the State Executive Council, Ayedatiwa met with the Deji Council and community leaders at the palace to express his condolences. During the visit, Ayedatiwa highlighted Oluwatuyi's significant contributions to the state's governance and politics, noting that his legacy would be remembered. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole reports.
Temitayo Oluwatuyi, popularly known as Tukana, passed away last Saturday, 4th of January 2025, prompting an outpouring of condolences from people from all walks of life. Governor Ayedatiwa described Oluwatuyi's death as a painful loss, noting that he was a beloved figure and a jolly good fellow within the community.
Very friendly, very humble, very, very beautiful. He was a grassroots mobilizer who has served this state in different capacities over the years. For me personally, I have a very, very cordial, warm relationship with him. He was a trusted ally. So this marriage is so painful to me personally and to the entire cabinet. That is why we are here in Latin to commiserate with Akure, where he originated from as a native of this land.
Ayedatiwa praised Oluwatuyi as a rare politician, highlighting his skills as a grassroots mobilizer and trusted ally. He prayed for Akure community to find the strength to cope with the loss.
I know it's a great loss to Akure, loss that is irreparable. But God knows better. We love him, we want him to be around for longer time than this. But God decides everything. And he has decided on the 4th of January that it's time for him to come home. And there's nothing we can do. We are here as human. Because somebody who has been with us, who have done so much, have impacted so much, so many lives in his lifetime, that we will not see him again. I want to plead with KPAC that, and all the Akure indigents as a whole, pray that God will grant you the fortitude to bear these irreparable loss.
Amen.
Oba Aladetoyinbo Aladelusi echoed the governor's sentiments, stating that Oluwatoyi's death is a tremendous loss for Akure, referring to him as one of the community's finest. The monarch thanked Governor Aiyedatiwa for his support and emphasized that the community will intensify prayers in honor of the late SSG and the development of Akure Kingdom.
This is too much. Okidi Omo Gidigidi, very humble. In everything. If Tukana was with you, unless you ask him question, he won't I say you came to visit me now. Say something, say Kalbase. You don't say anything. The vacuum is too much, so I don't know what will help us. It's only God that can help our brain. It's only God, because it gets too much. It's too much.
Special prayers were also held for Oluwatoyi's family, the Akure community, and the state at large. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, the passing of Temitayo Oluwatoyi, the secretary to the Ondo State government, has been described by mourners and sympathizers as an irreplaceable void in both personal and professional spheres. OSRC's Saeed Aribisala reports that his dedication to service remains etched in the hearts of those who were touched by his presence.
The news of Temitayo Oluwatoyi's death, secretary to the Ondo State government, has sent shockwaves throughout the state. His residence has transformed into a gathering place for mourners paying their respects, reflecting the profound impact he had on many lives. Grief is palpable among family, friends, and well-wishers who struggle to accept the loss of a man known for his humility and kindness.
As I heard the news yesterday, I was that it's a lie. But getting to the evening times, I can't have the news fully. So I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all.
Mr. Tukana is a very nice man. I was with my friend yesterday that I heard the news. It's very saddening. We lost a great man, a cheerful giver, a nice man. He's a husband to all the women.
He's a bosom friend. He's a bosom friend and very generous, a cool-headed guy that doesn't want any problem, and he combines the attributes, and at the same time, he helps people a lot.
Those close to him remember Oluwatoyi as an unassuming politician whose generosity and dedication earned him widespread admiration. His humility, even in a prominent political role, resonated with many, including those who never met him.
He's a nice man to us. This Oshinle is a nice man, very, very humble. In fact, everybody very, very sad. So, well, I don't know what I can say, but as he died now, nobody happy. Nobody this Oshinle. Because every time the water here, where they pump, this area, this Oshinle area, every day, even himself, he will open the water for everybody to be fetched. So, well, as he died, we lose him too much.
Látàná tí dáàdì tún kú bàbá Tukana mi ò gbádùn bí mo ṣe wà gan ẹ rí pé mo jókòó sí ẹ̀bá mi bẹ̀ yẹn ni òun ṣáà ni mo máa ń rò ṣe irú mi tá à ń pọ̀ yẹn everyday ló máa ń ṣe fún wa number one tómi yàn bá kárí eléyìí tó ń lò nínú ilé ẹnìkan pọ̀npẹ̀ síta àtúnpá ànágà àmùpọ̀ máa kú omi yẹn la pọ̀npọ̀npọ̀npọ̀ máa lẹ́lẹ́ àná ibẹ̀ bó ṣe kú gan lànà gan wọ́n ṣe ń pọ́n mi yẹn náà ikú ẹ̀ka yẹn lára lọ́ọ̀ṣẹ̀lẹ̀ gidi o èèyàn gidi ni ó nice gidigidi kò gbéraga anybody ló free kì í tilẹ̀kùn ilé ẹ̀.
Oluwatoyi is survived by his wife and children who now face the heart-wrenching task of mourning a loving husband and father. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
chairperson of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has been shot dead alongside 4 others, including a mother and her child. The attack, suspected to be carried out by cult members, occurred around 2 a.m. when gunmen stormed Oladipo's residence in Owo local government area of Ondo State. Oladipo, known as Fisien Yogbe, was a former youth leader of the APC in Ondo State and a significant figure in local politics. Reports indicate that the mother and child were victims of a stray bullet during what appears to be a reprisal attack. Reports say the police have since restored normalcy in the area and are actively pursuing the perpetrators. And in a related development, due to the ongoing violent court clashes and security disturbance in Owo, which have led to loss of lives, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has ordered a dawn-to-dusk curfew in the town till further notice. All residents are required to remain indoors during the curfew. We'll bring you further details in our subsequent bulletins. Troops of 1 Brigade Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fasanyama have neutralized a notorious terrorist kingpin, Sani Russo, in Zamfara State. A statement by the coordinator of the Joint Media Coordination Center, Operation Fasanyama in the state, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, said the feat was achieved when the troops conducted a fighting patrol to Bamamu village in Safe local government area. The statement said troops of Operation Fasanyama joined an ambush operation which was based on credible intelligence regarding terrorist activities at Kwana Jolof in Shinkafi local government area of Zamfara State. Also said it neutralized some terrorists while others sustained fatal injuries. The operation also led to the recovery of 1 AK-47 rifle and 1 G3 rifle, alongside 8 rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition, 4 rounds of 7.62 mm NATO ammunition, 3 magazines, and 3 motorcycles. President Bola Tinubu has departed for Accra, Ghana to attend the inauguration of President-elect John Dramani Mahama, scheduled for tomorrow, January 7. Mahama, who previously served as Ghana's president from 2011 to 2017, was re-elected in December 2024 and will succeed President Nana Akufo-Addo. The trip comes to the invitation of Mahama, who visited Tinubu in December following his election victory. As chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, Tinubu will join other African leaders at the ceremony. Accompanying President Tinubu will be Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, and other senior government officials. And on the foreign scene, people in Syria are confronting the destructive legacy of more than 13 years of civil war. The Al-Asali neighborhood in Damascus, once a thriving suburb, now lies in ruins. People who once lived there were all forced to leave, and nearly all the buildings have been reduced to rubble. The report. Once a bustling hub on the outskirts of Syria's capital Damascus, the Al-Sani neighborhood has been reduced to rubble by the regime forces. These places, residents have been barred from returning to their homes, but after the fall of Assad regime last month, some of them began to return only to see what the left is now unrecognizable. Ola and her family were forced to leave in 2012. She says in the last years, she and her family have been displaced 4 times.
Tanks surrounded our home and one of them bombed it while we were still inside. People had to leave. Families are shattered. My 2 brothers immigrated to Lebanon. Now they can come back because we have to rebuild our homes. Last week, 5 families returned.
Ahmed is among those who returned. He says his father built this house in the 1970s.
I am fixing this house. I know it's not constructible anymore and might collapse any time, but I cannot afford the rent in the city center. I have to make it livable.
The residents here say the 4th Division of the regime's army, led by Bashar al-Assad's brother, Mahir, used bulldozers to demolish the remaining houses here. They say the aim was to turn the district into a military zone. This massive stretch of rubble was once home to many multi-story buildings. Among the ruins, heavily damaged but still standing, is the Amar Masood Mosque. Residents say they will start praying there soon. Abdullah and his wife are old and weary of an agonizing wait. They say their son was the joy of their life until he was imprisoned a decade ago.
My son was 25 when he was arrested. He was accused of being an armed rebel. Since then, we haven't heard from him. We hope he is alive and will come back.
These children have survived a brutal civil war. They have seen nothing but poverty and destruction. They are holding on to a fragile peace now, but the future remains uncertain. Some people suggest rebuilding Syria could cost as much as $400 billion. There is no doubt that it needs help from the international community. However, the country is still under sanctions imposed on the previous regime. Now that Bashar al-Assad is gone, Syrians say sanctions should be lifted because they are hurting ordinary people trying to recover from a devastating war. Odunayo Soya, Osrc News. Moving on to sports, Nigeria formed Premier Football League side. Sunshine Stars FC are out to add fresh legs to their squad in the January transfer window as players and officials of the club resume training ahead of the second round of matches in the 2024-2025 season following a one-week Yuletide. Chairman of Ondo State Football Agency, Bamidele Ologunoluwa, noted that the club will remain focused and approach the second stanza of the season with renewed energy. After the first 19 matches, the Owena Wheels just 1 point above the relegation zone, and the chairman says they will fortify the team with new players. Ologunoluwa said he believes in the technical know-how of the coaching crew led by Abubakar Bala, adding that positive results will be coming as the team regroup for the second stanza of the league. The Akure-based side has played their home matches at the Dipo Dina Stadium, Ijebu-Ode, and the Remo Stars Stadium, Ikene, due to prolonged renovation works on the Akure Township Stadium. Their run in the league has seen them lose coach Kennedy Boboye before they appointed Bala some weeks ago. Before we end the OSRC news at 7, another look at the major stories. Residents of Akure, the Ondo State capital, have demanded action as congestion plagues the popular Ojaoba market. Residents of the state have linked the persistent traffic gridlock around Ojaoba market to negligence from authorities responsible for managing public spaces. A prominent chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Fisayo Oladipo, has been shot dead alongside 4 others, including a mother and a child. The attack, suspected to be carried out by COP members, occurred around 2 a.m. today when gunmen stormed Oladipo's residence in our local government area of Ondo State. We told you that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has refuted claims that it plans to destroy over 6 million uncollected permanent voter cards. In a statement on its X handle,